Absolutely love how Smackdown Live went off the air last night. Love it. We finally, have a story that's being told correctly by WWE, and on top of that, we had a cliffhanger. You have to tune in to the next show to see it develop further. It's called the cliffhanger. It's been around in TV shows since the beginning of time. WWE used to utilize the cliffhanger all the time to keep their fans in suspense and intrigued and waiting for the next show to come. And then they just stopped giving a fuck for years. Not weeks, not months, for years. Last night the cliffhanger was brought back. You have to check out the next show. The next show happens to be SummerSlam. Beautifully done. The SummerSlam card booked. It's been promoted. There's nothing more you could do on that last segment. Now you build that last piece of intrigue. Something that you have to tune in to see what's going to develop further. Something that's not even a match. That adds an extra layer to SummerSlam now, because you know something's going down. Roman will be in Toronto. There ain't no doubt about it. This is going to further in Toronto. It's going to be the next step in this whole story. So I absolutely love that. It reminds me a couple WrestleManias ago when you knew something was going to happen with Undertaker and John Cena. It wasn't an official match, but Cena said he would be there in the crowd. And you knew The Undertaker was going to show up. It wasn't an official match, but you knew the next step in that story was going to progress and transpire. Just the same thing here, man. And it was told beautifully with the Roman Reigns kicking everybody out of that locker room, sitting down with Buddy Murphy, interrogating Buddy Murphy to the point where Buddy Murphy gets roughed up and drops a name of Eric Rowan. And Rowan and Daniel Bryan are in the ring from that main event still, and they're looking up at the Tron, and they have these dumbfounded looks on their face. And Roman's confused. We fade to black and we go off the air. Now, I've watched enough whodunit mysteries to know that the most obvious choice, the most obvious suspect, is usually not the final culprit in this. So I didn't even bother going on social media because I know all the fucking fun-loving bunch should be on social media. Oh, they rushed this too fast. Why did they use Buddy Murphy so badly? He looked like a chump. Why are they using Eric Rowan as the name? Eric Rowan of all people. Nobody wants to let shit play out anymore. Nobody wants to fucking give shit the time of day. Nobody wants to just let it unfold and be entertained. We all just want to look at everything and put a negative twist on it. You complain when Buddy Murphy isn't being used. You complain when he's involved in one of the main storylines because he had to take bumps for one of Vince McMahon's main eventers. Too fucking bad. There's guys like Finn Balor who has not been treated correctly in the years he's been there. There's guys like Ali that have a real shot in this company but aren't given a real chance. There's guys like Drew McIntyre and Samoa Joe that should be given the world, but instead they're given shit. And you expect me to jump on the Buddy Murphy bandwagon for what? 4 or 5 weeks until everyone gets old with that? Vince McMahon gives him some airtime and then everybody jumps on what? Tony Nese? And then we go to what? Drew Gulak? Do we just go through all of the 205 Live guys? You just want everyone from 205 Live to be up on the main roster? To do what? They haven't even made anything out of Drew McIntyre, Samoa Joe, Ali, even Finn Balor with the championships he's held has been irrelevant. Give me the fucking demon and maybe we can talk. And you want what from Buddy Murphy? I see this outrage. Buddy Murphy's not being used correctly. Who the fuck is Buddy Murphy? Get in line, buddy. There's a whole line of people that aren't being used properly. I'm not gonna drop down like everybody else and start the Buddy Murphy dick sucking contest. No. Don't give a fuck about Buddy Murphy now. I don't mind the dude. He's a good wrestler. He could be something in this business. Get in line. The Amplified Man has many other concerns right now that are way too more important than Buddy Murphy. How about using Drew McIntyre correctly? Samoa Joe, Ali, Balor. Let's hope and pray that they use Bray Wyatt correctly when he gets there and starts wrestling week to week basis. Let's hope that they can utilize him correctly. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking join this pity party for Buddy Murphy. I don't give a fuck. This company has way too many bigger issues than Buddy Murphy and him being used in the main event storyline with Roman Reigns. Because that's what it is. It was the main event storyline last night, and it's been the main event storyline. Main event to what? Who the fuck knows where this all ends, but that's why I'm willing to see where it all ends. And that was just a piece of the puzzle last night. Rowan's name gets dropped by Buddy Murphy. Do you honestly think Rowan was the sole culprit, if any? He may have something to do with it, but was he the only one? No. Was Daniel Bryan the only one with him? Probably not. This may take a total swerve and have nothing to do with Rowan and Bryan. But the next step would be at SummerSlam. Maybe Roman Reigns calls out Eric Rowan and Bryan. Maybe there's an impromptu match. No, that doesn't excite me, but maybe afterwards we find out it wasn't Rowan. So Roman has this impromptu match, takes out Rowan, maybe fucking starts something afterwards with Daniel Bryan. Maybe Buddy Murphy was the dude all along, attacks Roman after the match at SummerSlam, an impromptu match. Or maybe there is no Roman match at SummerSlam and Buddy Murphy just derails Roman backstage or in the ring. Maybe it's somebody we haven't even talked about. Let this thing play out, man. He said the name Rowan. That's all he said. That wasn't the final fucking verdict in this story. That's not the end point in the story, and people are flipping their fucking lids. Oh my god, they rushed it that quick. No, it's not rushing anything. It's going to continue. They had a huge event called SummerSlam. They had to take a huge step in this story. I fully agree. This story should have started at least 1 week earlier. Give us another full week of TV of this type of attack shit. And then it would be maybe not as rushed as you call it. So I totally agree. 1 week at least earlier. But that's not the cards that were dealt. The cards that were dealt were as such. Last week started it, this week propelled it, and at SummerSlam they have to take a major step. They announced Rowan's name. He name-dropped Rowan. Okay, that doesn't mean it has to be Rowan. The mystery continues through SummerSlam now. Clearly, at SummerSlam, we're going to take the next step in all this. Amazing how people can find fault. They will find any little bit of fault when what I was watching last night was a story taking shape beautifully. I love that final segment with Roman Reigns kicking everybody out of the locker room, and because he knew in that footage he saw Buddy Murphy and he said, "Not you, Buddy, sit down." And he starts interrogating him. And Buddy, being the hot shot that he is, won't give any information. First he says, "I don't know anything, but even if I did, I wouldn't tell you." And Roman Reigns being, what is he, Michael Cole? The big dog! The big dog! Come on, Michael Cole, you can give me better. The big dog! So he roughed up your Buddy Murphy. Ooh, boo! You want me to get you the tear bucket? Again, join the club. Everybody has been misused. Did you think Buddy Murphy would be different? And when you start sucking Tony Nese's dick, it's going to be the same thing. And Drew Gulak and any of your little 205 Live guys, or anybody in the NXT bunch, or anybody around the world in the Indies, or over there in Japan, if you think Vince is just going to sit down and go, "Wow, I really got to utilize him. This Buddy Murphy is extraordinary. Stone Cold, move out of the way. Hogan, move. Warrior, Savage, Rock, you ain't seen nothing till you've seen Buddy Murphy." Fuck out of here, dude. There's so many issues. You think I'm gonna fucking sit here and bawl over Buddy Murphy getting thrown around by Roman? Fucking A, man. Again, I just know. I on purpose, I didn't check social media afterwards because I knew the talk of the town. You know, the wrestling community can be like a family reunion where you know you just don't want to see half of that family. You don't want to see those annoying cousins, that annoying uncle. The wrestling community can be full of just annoying dipshits most of the time. So sometimes it's better just fucking disengage from it, because you know you're gonna see a lot of fucking stupidity. They'll take something that was actually good and they'll try to act like they're smart, dissect it to the point where that good thing is actually bad. Okay. Thank goodness I'm not taking advice from you. Thank goodness you don't have a fucking channel. Thank goodness you don't have a fucking blog, vlog. Anything that can get out to the fucking world. Thank goodness. Because that's how you lose brain cells quickly. Listening to fucking dumb schmucks, fucks, and dipshits. It's like that family reunion. The wrestling community can be filled with just annoying motherfuckers, so you have to make sure you're navigating those wrestling waters, man, correctly. Make sure you surround yourself with knowledgeable people. Look and take in what is being fucking presented to you and use your dome piece. This isn't the end of this story. It's going to continue. It's going to evolve. Some people think it just ended. Oh my God, it was so rushed. Yeah, they have a big pay-per-view. They're going to take another big step in this story at the pay-per-view. The first step in the process to elevate the story is dropping a name. They dropped Rowan. Daniel Bryan's right there. I'm cool with Rowan and Daniel Bryan being a big piece of this. And Buddy Murphy being a big piece of this. And who knows who else. And if this helps propel Samoa Joe a little bit, I'm cool with that too. The shit fucking play out a bit, man. Anyway. I loved it. Absolutely. I've loved this story since, even last Tuesday when the lighting fixtures and grids kind of fucking fell down on Roman. It was done so poorly, but I knew what they were trying to execute and I was all for it. And I was like, all right, let's continue this. Let's see where this goes. And then this week with the whole car thing in the parking lot, I absolutely love that. You guys know I love that type of scenario. And then last night was just... And I'll talk about it a little more too. I'm going to go over the entire show, top to bottom, start to finish, beginning to end. So I'll talk a little bit more of that because that was actually the last segment of the night. So I'll talk a little bit more in depth about it. Let's start right from the beginning though. Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus, face to face. This kicks off Smackdown Live. Overall, it was a good back and forth. Trish Stratus has always been good on the mic. It's just she's natural on it. She doesn't, stumble and fumble over her words. She's always got her bullet points and she spews them beautifully. And there's a look of realism on her face, like this just disdain for who she's talking to. And Charlotte Flair is the best female talent on the microphone today. Stephanie McMahon isn't really an active participant, so if you remove Stephanie McMahon, there's nobody better than Charlotte Flair on the mic on that main roster for the females. She's one of the best on the mic in the whole company. So you knew face-to-face, mic-to-mic, they were gonna deliver, and they did. I just feel they didn't know how to end it. They didn't want too much physicality, but they knew they had to do something. So it just ended with Trish Stratus smacking Charlotte Flair across her mug. And then that was really it. Charlotte Flair just starts to grin a little bit. She walks off, almost like she knows something Trish doesn't know. Almost like Charlotte knows that she's going to easily beat Trish or something like that. It looked very odd. It looked like Charlotte Flair was totally in command. So it almost, even though Trish got the smack in, Trish kind of looked like, I don't know, it was weird, man. Charlotte looked like she had everything together, man. I don't know if that's the intent. Maybe that's what they were going for. It's just, even with a smack, it didn't look like Trish had too much dominance in presence. Charlotte Flair always looked like she was the one in control. We'll see where it goes. This is one of those things that doesn't need a story behind it. It's Trish versus Charlotte. The story already spoke for itself when it was announced. You have your leader from the past taking on one of the leaders today. And I know, she's not a leader, BC. She's one of the best female wrestlers in the world. Every time I say that, I get those annoying family members. The annoying part of the wrestling community, they'll try to argue that she's not one of the best wrestlers, BC. No, she actually is. She's literally one of the best female wrestlers in the world. Not just the company. And yes, I've scoured Japan. I've scoured the indies across the fucking globe. I assure you, Charlotte Flair is one of the best professional wrestlers, female-wise, in the world. And then I'll get, oh, Tessa Blanchard is better, man. What are you talking about, dude? Like, I want some of that Matt Riddle shit you're smoking, man, because what are you talking about? Tessa Blanchard's damn good, but how the fuck are you gonna tell me she's better than Charlotte? I would give you fucking equal at best, and I'm being generous. Fuck out of here, bro. You're not gonna tell me that Tessa Blanchard is better than Charlotte Flair. On what fucking planet? Charlotte Flair has the aerial assault locked down. She's got the ground game locked down. She's got the presence. Athletic as fuck. More athletic than Blanchard. Some people... Toni Storm can take her. That's great. She can maybe take Charlotte a couple days of the week. Charlotte can take her 5 days a week. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean they suck. Get that through your dome piece. You don't think, I've said it a million times on this channel, Charlotte Flair became like a Roman where they were being forced down our throats. There was no question. There was times I just didn't want to see Charlotte Flair on the television or on the pay-per-view because it was just too redundant. That doesn't step away from the fact she's one of the best. And that's what I mean. That's why this is going to sound egotistical. This is why I'm so high on myself. Because I do call it down the middle. Even when I don't like something, I will call it down the middle. And I'll tell the truth about it. Whether you like Charlotte or not, she is one of the best. Trish Stratus, whether you like her or not, for her generation, she was one of the best. It's like Ronda Rousey. People always like to say Rousey was trash in UFC. And the only reason she was something special in the UFC was because she was in an era where all the top athletes weren't there yet, or it hasn't evolved. But now that it's evolved, the people today in UFC, those females would rock Ronda Rousey. You're probably right. The point is, that was the era she was in, and she was the top dog. You can't discredit for somebody and what they accomplished because they were in a different era. People want to take Michael Jordan and see if he could hold his own against LeBron James today. It's not fair up front because it's different eras. The training was different, the way they went about shit, their methods, everything was different. If anything, LeBron James has a plethora of more, just at his feet, a plethora of more training capabilities and options at his feet. So he should be able to rock Michael Jordan. But you know what? I bet you Michael Jordan still to this day would give him a little bit of a battle. Well into his, 50s? That's how good Jordan was. My point is, you can't discredit somebody for being in a different era. So yes, the wrestlers today, female-wise especially, are better than yesterday's females, but Trish was a standard in that division in that era. So now you're going to have the queen of that era taking on the queen of this era, so to speak, right? She calls herself the queen. She is one of the best. It's a dream match. The story tells itself. So I don't need too much behind that. So that segment didn't really rock me last night, but it didn't need to. I don't know if I would start SmackDown Live off that way, because again, it didn't pack that punch that I would want excitement-wise to start a show. So I would not have started the show that way. But no harm, no foul. The story itself tells itself. Charlotte, Trish. It's a dream match of sorts. Next, we go on with Dolph Ziggler. He comes out to Goldberg's music. He has the punches, the Goldberg kicks. He's basically Goldberg. Zigberg. And he's about to take on Mysterio, but that match never actually kicks off because Ziggler attacks Mysterio and delivers 2 super kicks. Somehow, these 2 super kicks were enough to totally annihilate Mysterio. Seriously, this dude was knocked out from 2 super kicks. I have seen Mysterio 100 different times in 100 different ways get annihilated and still get back up and continue a match. 2 super kicks and this guy could not continue. So the match was basically a no contest. Ali comes out to avenge his buddy. All of a sudden, they're good friends. Ali comes out for no reason, and we have an impromptu Ziggler versus Ali match when we come back from commercial. Now, this was just a 4-minute match. Dolph picks up a rather simplistic victory over Ali. Now, it looked like they were finally going to give Ali a little something. He had 2 good matches, even though they were really short, against Shinsuke Nakamura. And then all of a sudden, you think he's going to get rewarded from those. And yes, he gets rewarded. A 4-minute loss to Dolph Ziggler. Sucks for Ali. If your name is Dolph Ziggler, you're pretty happy. You actually got a victory. One of his first in the 4 months since he's been back. Roman Reigns is backstage next. He's in a sit-down interview with Kayla Braxton. At first, this came off pretty cheesy, but then it ended up being pretty good. And more importantly, it added to the story of who the mystery man is. Because Roman Reigns said, I will find out, and I'll find out tonight. So it adds a little bit of intrigue for that second hour. Whether you're totally down with this story or not, it adds a little extra layer. He's gonna find out tonight, so they got something planned, man. Something's gonna go down. It kind of captivates you a little, right? You were gonna change the channel and you're like, oh, I kind of want to see where they're going with this. I love shit like that, man. Build a story. There's a concept. A fucking story. This Roman Reigns story is it's easily one of the best things, if not the best thing in pro wrestling's WWE right now. Who would have thought we'd be talking about Roman Reigns in such high regards? And I always told you, I never threw shade at Roman. I wanted to see him in good stories, and I wanted to see him utilized correctly. This is pretty damn good. If you ain't gonna turn the guy heel, put him in something meaningful and let him be a legit badass. Clearing out the locker room last night, man, that was legit. And I'll get to that in a minute. In fact, let's move on to the second hour. We start off with the Owens Show. Owens is in there with his guest, Shane McMahon. Owens wants Shane to put his career on the line, just like Owens is putting his career on the line at SummerSlam. Shane refuses, basically saying, no, I got more brain, because Owens said, you just lost your balls, and Shane McMahon said, I got those still, but I also got brains, Owens. There's no way I'm doing that. So Shane refuses to put his career on the line. They clear the ring because Owens is pissed and Shane McMahon isn't going to back down. So they clear the ring in preparation for a pre-SummerSlam brawl, but Elias hits the ring. The brawl goes to the outside where Owens stunners Elias on the commentary table. Shane is able to take out Owens on the commentary table, basically just swipes his legs from underneath him. And then Shane continues to just beat the shit out of Owens. I mean, he snaps. He logistically goes fucking bonkers. He flips over the commentary table onto Owens, puts a chair into Owens' face, and just steamrolls like a fucking baseball slide right into Owens via the chair. So Owens got fucked up. He got rocked. And again, Shane McMahon, he went a little bit bonkers. I like that, because again, I've already seen Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. I've seen them at WrestleMania. I've seen them in Hell in a Cell. How much farther can you go after Hell in a Cell, right? We don't need to see a match after Hell in a Cell. So if you're going to give it to me, give me a fucking reason, man. And I always like Shane McMahon, and I think Owens getting rocked like he got rocked last night, he's going to want some retribution. It's a little bit of layer to make me give a shit for Sunday. So I'll take those layers, man. Those layers add up, and they become meaningful if you have enough of them. So now I'm much more down to see Shane and Owens than I was a week ago. So that did do something, that segment last night. I like the way the second hour kicked off. Then we go into Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black. This was originally for SummerSlam, or it was supposed to be. And they decided there was just too many matches and not significant enough, so they put it on Smackdown. This was a decent match. Unfortunately, I didn't really care about it. But decent nonetheless. So that's a plus. Again, it doesn't do anything for either of these superstars. The ending was just an absolutely devastating black mass. These black masses from Aleister Black, they get more vicious and devastating, and they just look so cool. Black's finisher is easily one of the way he sets it up, and then the contact with the fucking sound that it makes. Dude, Black Mass is devastating. Sami Zayn never had a chance. In fact, rumor has it, word around the campfire, Sami Zayn has not gotten up since. So we're hoping he's all right. Playing, just jokes. New Day versus Brian Rowan. This is the main event. I just didn't care. At least Zayn and Black was semi-interesting. New Day versus Brian Rowan is just pure redundancy. Literally 0 fucks were given in this match. This is what I mean. You make Natty and Ember 2 minutes, right? Did I even go over that? Guys, the first hour actually ended with Natty and Ember Moon. I didn't even go over that, did I? That's how fucking fast it was. I actually wanted to see Natty versus Ember. When they got face to face, I was like, this is a matchup. Not only are they good wrestlers, damn good wrestlers, same height almost, the thickness, everything was just like, I want to see these pit bulls just collide. Give them 10 minutes at least, man. We got 2 fucking minutes. They go to the outside. Natty gets a sharpshooter on Ember Moon, and they get it's a double count out. And Natty is just like obsessed, and she has this like new lunatic edge to her, like she is just obsessed with beating Becky Lynch, and there's this new edge to Natty, and I like it. I really like it. This is the best Natty has ever looked to me. As far as like the way she's going about her business, the best. But Ember Moon just looks like a chump now, 2 weeks in a row. Leading into SummerSlam, and she's supposed to be a challenger for a championship. Last week, she gets beat by Alexa Bliss, simplistically, and then when she gets up from that loss, she gets belly to bellied, planted, knocked out. This week, she's in agony and a sharpshooter. I don't even think she got up afterwards. Bayley had to come out and help her. Bayley, her opponent, had to get Natty off of her. And Ember's all fucking rocked. 2 weeks in a row, Ember Moon is rocked. The casual fan is thinking, this is the challenger for a championship? She's a bum. I hate how they're using Ember Moon. So they announced her for a title match, and it shows you how they believe in Ember. If you think Ember Moon is walking out with that championship, you're a damn fool. You don't know. I so wish Ember walked out of Toronto with that championship, but I'd be a fool to think she would. If she walks out with that title, I would be floored. Jaw on the ground, man, floored. I don't know if I'd be like fucking Ember Moon the last 2 weeks. I would not be getting up. I'd be floored, shocked to the core. There's no way that I see Vince McMahon giving Ember a title. Vince sees nothing in her. I think he was forced to put her in there. Looked at all of his fucking women's matches, which all are good, by the way, for SummerSlam. I'm on board with Maddie and Becky. I'm on board with Trish and Charlotte. And I'm on board, obviously, with Bayley and Ember. But it's almost like Vince looked at his women's match. We need some diversity. Unfucking real, man. Ember Moon is booked like a chump going into one of her biggest match of her life. Biggest platform for the championship. Looking like a bum 2 weeks in a row. And again, 2 minutes. Natty gets up, pushes Bayley. Bayley just like, don't do it again. You know, and Natty fucking take it. I love the way Natty looked. Natty pushed Bayley and then she started hightailing it. She's like, no, just get off me. You know, she looked like she was like, she looked like she lost her marbles. I love this Natty. You know, I just, again, it's like Dolph Ziggler and Ali. Great for Dolph, sucks for Ali. Great for Natty. She looked pretty dominant. Sucks for Ember. Ember looked the opposite of dominant. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to see a match I really wanted to see. Ember and Natty. I was actually like, oh, this is going to be good. 2 fucking minutes, bro. And for what? To give 15 minutes to the New Day and Daniel Bryan and Rowan. A match I've already seen before. Many times. 15 minutes to see a redundancy when I could have gotten Natty and Ember. Something fresh, organic, original. Something I wanted to see. The New Day just bores the shit out of me lately. I can't describe it. It's like I'm seeing the same shit, and if it seems that way, it's because I am. I've seen the New Day take on every fucking combination, whether it's 2-on-2 or 6-man tags. The same jokes, they're just being clowned. That like it was funny for a while, and then they got and then they would get funny again. It's time to just move on, man. Big E needs his own push. Kofi should have had nothing to do with this whole New Day shtick when he became champ. Fucking stuffing pancakes in his title and having 6-man tags the last 2 months. Just look at the last few minutes where it was Big E and Bryan, and that shows you that Big E should be on his own. That was the highlight of that match. The best sequence of the night was Daniel Bryan and Big E. That's all I need to see, one-on-one. I didn't need the whole tag team schmozzery. That's great shit. Anyway, match ends in a DQ when Rowan used the steel steps. I believe that was on Xavier. Maybe it was on Big. Who the fuck knows? Rowan just pretty much took everyone out. And then afterwards, Rowan and Daniel Bryan cleared the ring. And this set up the final segment. Rowan and Bryan were still in the ring because they just cleared it. And all of a sudden, Roman Reigns is backstage. Roman clears out the men's locker room. He tells Buddy Murphy not to go anywhere. And he starts to ask, Murphy, I saw you there. Did you do it? Tell me the truth. And Murphy's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And Roman is not taking that for an answer. So he basically gets right up in his face. I'm going to ask you one more time. I believe he even stood up at that point. Murphy is ballsy. Murphy stands up too, face to face. But Roman didn't like what he heard because Murphy came straight out and said, even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. And that pissed off Roman. Roman just totally tossed Buddy Murphy all around the locker room. Murphy was just it was Roman's whipping boy at that point. Roman was pissed off. It told the story beautifully. Roman Reigns is not playing here. This is affecting his fucking livelihood. He wants to fucking know. And you're saying even if you knew, you wouldn't tell me? What the fuck? You think this is a game? And he fucked Buddy Murphy up. Until Buddy Murphy finally dropped the name, Eric Rowan. Rowan just happened to be in the ring with Daniel Bryan. And there was this look. Rowan just had this look of like, you couldn't read it. It was a look of like, you motherfucker, you dropped my name when you know I didn't have anything to. It could be that. It was just blank. It could be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or it was, yeah, so what are you gonna do about it? Rowan was just like deadpan. Daniel Bryan, he had a double look too. It was almost a look of confusion, but also, all right, we've been had. So you don't know, man, You don't know if Buddy Murphy was a part of it too. He was walking away. Are they going to form like a little stable? Was it Luke Harper? We're hearing Luke Harper is back on the road. Return imminent. Could Luke Harper be the assailant here? Could he form maybe this little legions? Could there be a faction being formed? Samoa Joe, buddy with Roman lately? Helping him out and then going to social media and kind of playing a little bit more of a face. But is it all just a ruse, man? Is it all just a ploy? Is there many people involved? Is it somebody that we haven't even talked about or even thought of? It's going to unfold. Tune into the next show. Ooh, what's the next show? That's right, it's SummerSlam. Wow, beautifully done. Exactly. Beautifully fucking done. Or at least I think so, and I'm all that matters to me because I'm the one watching it for myself, and I loved it, so I liked it, and I loved it. Good for me. And my amplified unit, I'm pretty sure most of you, if you dissect it properly and you think about it, I mean, everyone has their own likes and shit they just don't like, but that's, if you dissect this shit, I don't see how you can't be on board with a story being told, and a story that was actually being told pretty fucking good. We would like another week, absolutely at least, to the story beforehand, and we would like the story to even go past SummerSlam, and we hope that it does. But if you're not on board with this, or you're just sitting back and just dissecting all the bad shit, or the shit you think is stupid, or all the negative shit, if you're just sucking all the good out of this story, man, I don't even know why you're even watching pro wrestling, WWE anyway. I don't know why you're even watching. I'm not telling you, I'm not going to be one of those annoying people, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch, right? That's what we're always told. But I just don't know what you're looking for. You claim you want good stories and this, that, and the other. They give you a good story. There's no way you're going to tell me it's a bad story. They give you a good story, and you continue to just dissect that and dilute and suck out all the negative shit. What? What's the reasoning? I understand misery loves company, but dude, find some fucking help for that shit. Go outside and play with others. Get off the fucking internet. Go do something with yourself. Find happiness. Come back and watch with a renewed sense of vision on this. I mean that. I hate to see these people living so miserably. Even when shit's good. It sucked, man. What the fuck is going on? They actually gave us a story. Well, I don't like the story. I don't like the people in it. I don't like the way they're being used. I think it was rushed. At this point, those are the people that literally I mean this wholeheartedly, all jokes aside. These are the people that watch just to be miserable. I'm not even joking. Like, that's the society we live in today, right? There's no more friends or going out and playing outside. The friends now is the internet. They're just gonna go on and they're gonna fucking be miserable all together, right? And that's all it is. So they actually want shit. Subconsciously, they actually want shit to be bad so they can complain together. That's all it is. And when shit's good, they're like, whoa, wait till next week. Just wait till next week. I will. And I hope I love it then too. I love the way the trajectory of this whole story is going. SummerSlam, even though it was a lot of rematches up front, I'm actually interested in a lot of this shit. All 3 women's matches. Ember and Bayley. I almost said Sasha Banks. I wish. Charlotte and Trish. Becky and Maddie. All 3 women's matches. I'm really looking forward to those. Just seeing Bray Wyatt back as the Fiend. That's going to be badass. The 2 title matches I've seen before, but I'm okay with seeing again, man. Let's do this. Becky Lynch. Where am I going with this? I need another fucking coffee back here. Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Almost called Brock Lesnar Becky Lynch. Brock and Seth. Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton. So that should be fucking pretty good too, man. I think both matches will deliver. We'll see. They have to do something totally different for Brock and Seth. They already did the storyline where Brock just beats the shit out of Seth the whole match, and then at the very end, Seth finds a way to win. So they're going to have to do something different. And obviously Kofi and Randy Orton are going to deliver. What else, guys? I don't know. There's other fucking... Oh, yeah. Shane McMahon and Owens, even though I saw him at Hell in a Cell, I don't need to see any more out of these two. I like what I saw last night. I'm willing to give this match another shot. Goldberg, a little nostalgia for 2 minutes. Goldberg will show up and completely annihilate Dolph. So, hey, man, it should be some fucking entertaining shit. Hopefully it's good shit this Sunday. The Amplified Man, that's Smackdown Live for Tuesday, August the 6th, 2019. I will see you guys for an impromptu video this week and, of course, the podcast. I believe I'm going to have the SummerSlam preview in the podcast this week, so it should be a full throttle podcast. It always is. It's the Amplified Man. For now. Check your lead. Ow! Look at that shit, huh? Check your leader.